Welcome. This tip is about connecting with your subject. This is one of the hardest things to convey, although it's actually on a human level one of the easiest things to do when you get it right. This is far less technical and much more about being human in terms of how you approach people and what you do to connect with a subject. However, on a very technical level, I always found it quite uncomfortable to be close to people in certain environments. Certainly people that I know very well and I was standing very close, I was extremely comfortable. However, if I didn't know the person well, I felt like I was invading their space. It was explained to me in a way that I could really understand, and then I was able to take it into my photography. So this is the tip that I'd like to share. So there is a kind of distance factor to how you're directing people. If I'm having to be far away from someone, I may want to have them to be really connected to the camera. That means looking at the camera, but because of technical reasons, because I want to have their full figure and I'm using a long lens, I may have to be far away from the camera. So this is a very important tip about your own body language and the voice level that you use and how you talk to the person. There's a great temptation when you're in a space with someone to raise your voice and be very directly like. However, it achieves the opposite of what you want. It actually can make people really uncomfortable. So remember that you have three types of voice and three types of approach. You have a public, and you have a private, and then the third is called intimate. Not to be misunderstood, intimate just means very personal. So who would be in a public space? If I was addressing a group of people, maybe 15, 20 feet away, and I was talking to them, there's a certain type of voice and mannerism that comes with that. If you were speaking to a classroom, if you were speaking to a group of people, that is your public zone. So your body language automatically goes into the public zone. However, how do you apply that to the photographs that we're talking about today? If you're shooting someone and they need to be far away, I start by being closer, talking with a quieter voice, and then carry my body language back further from the lens as I take the photograph. The second zone, as I call it, is called the private zone, and that is roughly anything between 7 and 15 feet. Haven't got an exact number to it, but it's where I found. So it's when the person is close, so close that when you talk to them, you're talking to them, and your body language changes naturally. It's a very good zone to be in with someone, so shooting that distance is very good for portraits. So think about how you are in that particular space. And then there's one called the intimate zone. The intimate zone is when you get up 3 feet or anywhere closer. Now sometimes when you're doing portraiture, you really want to have great shot photographs of the face or an eye, but remembering that you may not know the person well that you're photographing, you can actually invade their private space or their intimate zone. That is usually a space reserved for people. So I use what I call my best manners. So this is something my mum and my dad I thank them for very much. I myself find it quite, I can get nervous being close to a person in that regard. So it was really about thinking about how I presented myself, because how you act really influences the entire room. It influences the person in front of the camera, it influences your crew around you and anyone helping you. So if I act with a lot of noise and fast and loud, that's going to convey through the room and project in a different way than you want it to. So when I am approaching someone to go into the intimate zone where I want to shoot a close shot of an eye or a face, I usually start by being in the private zone, which is about 7 feet away, and I say, I'd love to shoot a portrait of you. I'm going to come in closer. And then as I go, I just make sure that I'm gently going into the space. I'm not slamming the camera into their face and saying, look at me now, and creating the opposite effect of anxiety as opposed to connection, which is really what we want. So to recap this, there is no particular science to this. It is more of experimenting. Keep yourself calm. Work in the three zones, public, private, and intimate, by practicing. Go and project your voice to someone and see how they react. Speak to someone at a closer range, and then go very close and see how your voice lowers and that you automatically become more quiet and personal with the person. That is really what you're trying to accomplish in all portraiture, particularly in lingerie, is you want trust, you want confidence, you want calmness. So good luck. And please ask any questions that you'd like in the comments, and I'm very happy to get into a discussion about this. It's a complicated subject, but it's a great one.